During a recent trip to Japan, well, a good 4 months ago recent, I picked up this huge 36 set of gouache paints for so much cheaper than I could ever find them here in Canada. I've played around with gouache in the past, but I just need some more practice using these paints, and what better way to practice than draw some people in the nude. But don't cover your eyes just yet. These nudes will be censored in silly and fun ways, don't worry. Completely monetizable. So let's get to drawing some butts, some nuts. You know what? Let's just get to drawing. I thought it would be fun to focus on 3 shapes for our 3 different illustrations, kind of a common theme with my art. I really enjoy sets, so let's do a triangle, a square, and a circle shape, which will also be the focus of our body shapes. But before we get to drawing, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. This online learning community is made for creatives by creatives with thousands of classes on any topic you can think of, from painting to baking to sewing. If you want to learn it, Skillshare has probably got a class for it. I really enjoyed this class called Odd Bodies by Tom Frost because his focus was how to have fun with expression and playfulness when drawing a human figure, and not so much trying to be technical or realistic, which are all features that I try to focus on with my own art, so it was really helpful to see how other artists approach illustration in this way and how I could improve myself. With an annual subscription at less than $10 a month, you could get to learning a new skill yourself. In fact, the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial premium membership. With that, thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Let's put my new skills to the test and get to sketching. What do you guys say we start with triangle shape sketches? So I thought it would be fun to not only focus our illustration on a triangle shaped background and our character's body, but I also thought it would be fun to just throw in a bunch of shaped objects that are also the same shape that we are going to be drawing. So I think as far as fun things to have our character censored by, I definitely think a pizza is going to be the most fun. So let's start off with the construction of our body. This is a very interesting pose already. So that's a weird shaped head, but you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here for strange. Oh, a triangle bow or at least pigtails would be fun. Why is my pen not working? Our triangle shaped pigtails, but also I think it would be fun to maybe either, oh no, my pen stopped working again. This is a bummer. Then have a bow. The pen didn't work. Oh my gosh. It's a very sloppy, messy sketch, but I'm kind of excited for this character, so let's see what we can do with her. Going into this set of illustrations, obviously my main focus was going to be exaggerating the shapes of the human figure. That's why I wanted to focus on a triangle, square, and circle when designing our characters. I think exaggeration is definitely one of the best ways to make your illustration fun and playful. And of course, Tom's class was chock full of some really good tips when it came to the stylization and how you approach the human figure. Flattening, abstraction, clarity, exaggeration, and simplification are the 5 features that he tried to focus on, which honestly is already something that I really like to focus on with my own personal style. And especially when working with gouache, something about gouache makes me want to work both very flat, but also work with some really crazy dark textured shadows. So not only was I going to really exaggerate the shapes of the human body, but I also really wanted to focus on the color. As you can already see, I am currently painting this person blue. So in this set of illustrations, I really focus on the primary colors, blue, yellow, and red, and I don't exclusively work with those colors, but it's a huge focus, especially when it comes to skin tones. Instead of doing your typical light colored pink skin tone or a dark brown skin tone, I thought it would be really fun and even more playful to create skin tones that were made from blue, yellow, and red. This definitely makes the illustrations a lot more colorful colorful. It certainly makes them a lot more playful. I mean, you can't look at an illustration this full of color and not think it's fun and playful. So I feel like there was a lot I was focusing on with this set of illustrations, playing with a medium I'm not used to, really pushing the colors, really pushing the style, and overall have fun with art. And honestly, I had a lot of fun playing around with this set of illustrations. So as you know, our first character is based on a triangle, and I didn't want to go into this set of illustrations just drawing a triangle and slapping some legs and arms on it, calling it a day. The inspiration I took from the shapes for each of these characters is a little bit more subtle, but probably a little bit more obvious in some areas. This character is very lanky, but I do have quite a few triangles hidden throughout their design. We have their triangular calves, the triangular body leading down to a very small waist, the triangular shape of their head coming down to a pointy chin, their triangular ears, the bow, and of course the pizza, which is then resulting in the cheese flowing all around them as they dance around eating pizza naked and just having the time of their life. Sometimes you just have to make a very simple illustration of somebody eating pizza naked, experiment with style, experiment with a new medium, and overall just have some old-fashioned fun with your art, and I think that's exactly what this was for me. This set of illustrations was a lot of fun, and this is only the beginning. Let's look at our next character. Okay, next up we have our square character. What are some things that are square shaped? We kind of have bread. Why pen? Why? Or better question, why haven't I just gotten a different pen? I abused the pen off camera and it started to work again, so I guess you just have to be rough with it and it'll start working again. I kind of want him to be really lanky and nerdy, but also taking care of plants. What kind of leg posture is that? He's kind of scaring me. This pose is strange. Though now that I'm drawing an old man, I kind of just like want this old man who's near death. He's just so old. I think I'm really gonna have to think about this one. Didn't really come up with a conclusion. Both are kind of silly in their own way, but I'm not really sold on either, so I gotta think about it. So when I went into this set of illustrations, I had absolutely no idea where our character designs were going to go. I just knew that I wanted to focus them on shapes, maybe exaggerate some colors, and other than that, I really had no idea what I was going to get into. So the sketches are definitely a start, but this square-shaped character is definitely the character that went through the most changes between the sketches leading up into the final product. In fact, the design that I ended up going with isn't something that I even sketched in the footage you saw. I really just wasn't happy with any of the designs I came up with. I was actually quite partial to the second design I came up with, which was an old man, I guess, shuffling a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the peanut butter and jelly between the two pieces of bread was going to be censoring his peanut butter. Haha. Later on, I was thinking about creating a really buff character because when I think of muscles, I think of a very solid, squared brick body, I guess. But I continued to sketch off screen and I came up with this really cute idea of someone who's a little bit younger who maybe painted some muscles onto a cardboard box. Again, I was sketching out this really muscular person and thinking of their body as this really sturdy, just block shape, which then resulted into a box. And then I just thought it would be really cute to have a character that is completely naked and they are wearing this box that has been painted with muscles muscles on it, and that's the character. Also, the more I worked with gouache, the more I found out that, again, working with very simple, solid colors of shapes probably worked the best for me, especially as I'm learning how to use the paint. As I get comfortable with it, I think I do tend to add a little bit more details here and there, but I think really solid blocks of color I think turn out the best for me. So this character is very simple, definitely very simple, especially when it came to their hair. Just this massive black with a little bit of textured brush stroke, and I absolutely love it. And as you might remember, I did want these colors to be focused on the primary colors red, yellow, and blue, so you might be looking at this illustration thinking, Kasey, I don't see any blue. Well, let me tell you, there is the most slightest hint of blue in the hair. I was kind of enjoying the warm theme with this illustration. I had the yellow square in the background, the orange skin, the yellow brown box, and then of course the red jam swirling around our character, so I didn't think that a cool blue color was going to fit too much into this illustration. So my solution was the, like I said, most slight blue tint to the black hair, which I think turned out really cute. I just love how it's just this void on the kid's head. Even though this character doesn't have a whole lot of details, there's not a lot of texture happening, there's not a lot of small little strokes and details, I think something about the exaggerated shapes, the bold colors, this simple yet effective transparent effect with the jelly, and overall the simplicity that really helps exaggerate when I do add some details like the brush stroke hair or the brush stroke muscles that are painted on the box. Stuff like that can get exaggerated when everything else is a little bit more simple and more bold. And overall, this is my favorite character out of this set. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's really fun. It's really colorful. It's bright. It's silly. Oh, but can I just say really quick, it's a little unfortunate that the kid's face looks like a Lego. Moving on to our circular shaped character. Again, I want to think of some objects that are circles. So I automatically think of a donut. Of course, I do want our character to be on the round side. So let's really exaggerate the base of our character being very round. Their head's going to be very round. Their eyes are going to be round. Oh gosh. So if we want to censor their nudity and we're going to be focusing on the beach, we can have our floaty pool ring going around our character. Round pigtails would also be fun. Very round and very fun. So I think this is probably what I'm going to go with. And last but not least, we have our circle-based character, and I have to admit, I did stick quite well to the original sketch for this illustration. I pretty much drew the first thing I sketched with our character in an inner tube, sort of floating, looking towards the viewer, but I felt like it was kind of boring, kind of bland, so I wanted to kind of switch up her pose a little bit, and even though this character isn't too much focused on a circle, overall her design is very round, very bubbly, very fun, and I had a lot of fun with this one once again. She also turned out really strange. There's just a lot of exaggeration when it came to her skin color, which I will talk about soon, which I think maybe didn't work exactly how I wanted it to, but it's just also very bold and fun and colorful and just wacky enough and weird enough to where it doesn't work, but then I think that makes it work because it's so crazy. I don't know. You'll see what I mean. So obviously the concept is still pretty much the same with this character. We have a very round, bubbly character, and they are sitting in an inner tube, and I have them holding an ice cream cone with some round scoops floating around them just to add some fun energy. Going into this illustration, I was actually originally going to make her a yellow-skinned character, but then I thought it would be really fun to make her just straight up red because she got sun sunburned. But then I also thought it would be really fun because I always really enjoy creating sunburn lines on characters. So I created this sunburn area of her body at the end of her limbs and her face where she wouldn't be wearing clothes. And it's just so exaggerated to the point where it almost looks like she's a burn victim, but it's so silly and I absolutely love how stupid it turned out. I mean, she literally looks like a lobster. In fact, her face is a little bit terrifying because she's just so red pink and her eyes and mouth look gaping until I fill them in later. But I think that's exactly what makes these illustrations so fun and silly. It's the exaggeration, it's the silliness, it's the absurdity of it all. And on this one, I also focused on some really nice pastel colors, and I think it just really incorporated this lovely beach summer look to it. She's having fun. Despite being so burned, she's probably crying inside. So this one's absolutely ridiculous. I think the colors are insane, but I think experimenting with something that you think isn't going to work can show that maybe it can work. And also, you never know until you try. At the end of these illustrations, I added some line art just because I felt like a good lineless look with gouache works really well, but I don't think my skills are quite there yet, so I think they did need that extra little boost of line work. So I went through and added line work in certain areas that just needed a little bit more clarity, maybe a little bit more detail, just something to make it a little bit more crisp. And that is our final circle-shaped character. Once again, thank you so much to the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Don't forget to check out the link in the description to get your free trial. Get to learning, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay golden. Bye.